Hello, and welcome to James, the Lesser Express Lane, where we get you in and out as fast as possible with The Dangers in My Heart. Read the manga, started watching the show after finally getting High Dive. What's it about? Kyotaro Ichikawa, the guy in the purple jump or sweater, whatever you want to call it. He's dark. He's always reading about serial killers and psychological horrors. Fantasizes about killing everyone around him because he's so dark and scary. But he's not. He's just your typical edgy teenager. The lady next to him is Ana Yamada. She's a model, an actress, eats a fucking ton. Hates it when you call her a giraffe because she towers over everyone else. And the thing is, the whole, oh, I am a dark and scary, edgy, emo kid lasts for like 2 chapters of the manga and maybe half an episode. And then him and Yamada start talking, and it all goes away and becomes your typical rom-com style anime. It's different in that later on, like they should have had this character in the very beginning. Later on, he starts seeing like his inner demon and his ego and super, like he starts seeing characters that are representing his psychological whatever. They don't appear until much later in the show, which I thought was weird. Like, this should have been something like, oh, hey, I'm dark, edgy, emo kid that thinks about this stuff. Well, then show it in these characters. Like, could have had the ID being weird and creepy, him going like, oh, God, don't do that, don't do that, don't think that in the middle of class. They don't do that until much later, which I thought was just weird. And the manga does stick very closely with the anime. Like, they pretty much copy it one for one, except for a couple of things here and there, which typical with anime. It is a very popular anime, pretty popular manga. Like, alright, I gotta check it out, and kind of glad I did because it had some interesting stuff in it. But, like, the really interesting stuff doesn't show up until later with, like, his psychological stuff going on as different character. Like, he's at the balcony during a school trip, and he's talking to his inner demon, what do you want to call it. I shouldn't be talking too loud. I don't need anyone to hear me talking to myself like this. You're not talking to yourself, you're talking to me. For the most part, yeah, it's just your typical rom-com anime style. Nothing too different. Animation's damn good. The audio's damn good. The intro's pretty interesting. Typical anime stuff. But overall, glad I read it. Glad I watched it. Kind of excited for a new season just to see how much more closely they stick to the manga. Which is nice because, oh my god, as an American, it's like, I really love this book. This book is great. They're turning it into a movie. Holy shit, the movie sucks. Who the fuck is this character? This character isn't in the book. What happened to these 3 characters? Those 3 characters were written out completely in the movie. Relic. Oh god, that's a great example of that. In the book, the Relic, one of the main points of the story was that the Mbwan beast used to be human. In fact, the whole reason the guy's able to kill it is because it used to be human. If you haven't read the Relic, it's been out for like, what, 40 years? I'm not spoiling anything. The Mbwan beast was a human that gets fed a certain plant. And then the indigenous people get wiped out by logging and all that in South America. Well, the only place that has the plant that the Mbwan beast needs gets shipped to a museum in New York. Well, the thing gets on the ship to eat the plants, gets shipped with it, starts attacking people, going crazy because it's running out of plants to eat. And then the guy who hunts is like, no, when you shoot at a bear, you'll hit the skull because the eyes are shaped like this. Wait a minute, the Mbwan beast, its eyes are in the front, like a human. So I can shoot it from the front, stop trying to sneak up at it on the side. And that's how he kills it. In the movie, Hollywood explosions, yay! Game of Thrones. You read the book and it's like, why the fuck are we following this character? They're not in the show. They're not in the show, they can't be that important. Although, some explanation of that was, they didn't have the budget. That's why, like, well, this character doesn't do this and this, but that character did. But they didn't have the money to have both characters, so they just gave all the character qualities and character storylines to one character. Until, like, later, season 2, 3, 4, when they had more money for a bigger budget. But it's like, well, that's why these characters don't appear in season 1, because they didn't have the budget for it. So they had to give their storylines to other characters. So maybe when you're reading the books, like, hey, this person doesn't appear in the show, that's because they didn't have the budget for him in season 1. They gave their storyline to this character as well. So it's still worth reading that person's chapter, because they're still technically in the show. That happens so much with books to movies in America, even books to TV shows in America, where it's just, hey, we're going to cut out this character and that character, cut out this arc, cut out this scene. Yay, you put in like a third of the book into the movie. What about the rest of it? What about all the good parts? What about all the parts people were looking to see? Well, with anime, going from manga to anime, they tend to pretty much be one for one. And so it does get kind of even more annoying then, I think, in my opinion, when they do cut something. It's like, you have like 13 episodes, 23 minutes long. Why did you cut this scene out? But, yeah, I'll get over it eventually, someday, or in the future. If you haven't watched this yet, I say give it a try if you like this style rom-com, whatever anime. Or find the manga online like a good American patriot should. That done, let you guys go. Thank you for watching. As always, like, subscribe, comment down below, and have one hell of a day.